All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we're going to be talking about how delay doesn't necessarily mean no. It's just a little bit of a delay. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today's Bible verse reference is going to be Luke chapter 8, verse 50. So you know how it is, how I am here. Open up those Bibles, get in the Word, let God speak to you what He wants to speak to you about, and pray and open up the lines of communication. Okay, so at this point in the Bible, I guess I would start at Luke 8, verse 40 and go all the way through 54. There's Jesus is walking through the town, and there is a man by the name of Jairus, and he has a sick daughter, and Jesus is supposed to go to the house and heal this daughter. That's what he's praying for. That's what he's hoping for. He knows that Jesus is the only answer to this problem. He has the solution, so he knows that he's going to go to his house. While they are walking through, a different woman touches the hem of Jesus's coat. She gets healed, and so Jesus starts interacting with her. Okay, it puts the pause on the miracle that Jairus is looking for, because Jesus is talking to the woman. Okay. Right after that, somebody comes up to him after Jesus finishes discussing that little situation with the woman that touched his coat. Somebody comes up and says, "Don't bother the teacher, your daughter's dead," right? And so I'm sure at that moment, Jairus was probably like, man, going through so many different emotions. Like, he's sad, he's disappointed, he knew, gosh, my miracle is right there, it's right there, and now my daughter's dead. If this woman wouldn't have stopped everything, maybe we would have got there in time. And he's going through all of those emotions. Okay, all God says is, hey, she isn't dead, she's sleeping. Okay, let's go there. And so they head to the house. Okay, and Jesus ends up healing her, and she comes back to life. So what does that mean for you? I'm sure that sometimes when you pray for things, you think like, because it's delayed, or because, maybe you were praying for something and it looked like it was going to be like this, and then it kind of just stopped for a little bit. The delay doesn't mean that it's a no, okay? That man got to see a way bigger miracle if he would have just got what he wanted and how he planned it out, okay? What he would have designed is, hey, my daughter was sick. Okay, Jesus rushed there quickly, and before she died, she's going to get healed, get better, and then everything's going to be fine. That's the way he wanted the miracle. But when God does miracles and God gives gifts, he gives them way bigger and way more beyond your expectations. So instead of him seeing Jesus do that little miracle, he got to see him do a much bigger miracle. He got to hear the disappointment and the death of his daughter, right? And he was so sad, I'm sure. And it was probably the most horrible feeling in the world, right? But from that, he's going to see God in a completely different light, because God's going to bring that dead situation back to life right in front of his face. And I bet after that happens, he doesn't ever question, is Jesus who he says he is? He always is going to walk around with that miracle and that testimony in his life. And not only does it affect him, it affects his wife, it affects his daughter. His daughter got to pass away, come back to life. All of those things. It was a much bigger miracle the way God designed it than it would have been if he would have not had to go through the hard stuff, okay? So just because something's delayed, just because something is taking a little bit longer, or it's more difficult, or you're going through a struggle, in a situation, maybe it's a relationship, maybe you're waiting for a relationship, maybe it's your work, just because it looks like it's delayed, God can bring anything back to life, okay? Anything that is in his will, that is good for you and from him, he can bring back to life at any point in time. If it's not from him and it's something evil and wicked, don't be sitting over here praying for an adulterous relationship, like, oh, this woman's with someone else, but I'm desiring her and stuff. God's not going to answer those prayers. God does not bless mess. Okay, that is not what I'm talking about on here. I'm talking about if it is in the will of God, he has told you it's going to happen, just because. And he told that man, like, he wasn't like, oh, I don't know if I can heal her, we'll see. No, that was where he was going. He knew what he was going to go do. Okay, and there was a little time delay. The time delay did not mean no. And because the man waited, because he was patient, because he still had enough faith when Jesus said, hey, she's not dead, she's sleeping. He didn't argue with him back and forth about it, because he had the faith and all of those things, and he just said, you know what, I'll just see what happens. He got to see a bigger miracle and a bigger something so big in his life that it probably changed the way that he felt about God for the rest of his life. So you need to think about that. Just because God says no, like, sit down here for a moment because I'm going to deal with this over here, and then we're going to get right back to that, it does not mean it's a no. It just means sit down, wait. He's going to do it, and he's going to do it in a bigger way than you could ever imagine. So you think about that, okay? And don't give up. If it's from God, it will prosper and it will come back to life. And if it isn't, sometimes you have to walk away from those situations too, okay? So anyways, like, share, subscribe, and comment as always, and I will see you guys back here next time.